Yes, of course, when Russian invaded Afghanistan, now all Afghans had to go for Jihad, and that was the real Jihad, and it continued until they left Afghanistan and they fled.
In the modern world today, why do you think there is, in Palestine, is there a just cause for jihad?
However, I haven't been to Palestine, but as I hear, if a country is invaded, the people of that country should fight, and that's called jihad. And of course, Palestinians are doing real jihad.
Okay. Why is it that today people are misinterpreting Islam, and people are associating terrorists as if they are on the way to Islam?
In my opinion, and according to Islam never puts risk to people, and never asks people for fighting unnecessarily. But just when some people invade some other country, some Islamic country, Islam persuade them and ask them for jihad. But if a group of people use Islam for their own purposes, that's not called jihad. Of course, that's not allowed in Islam.
Okay. Is suicide bombing allowed in Islam on the way to jihad?
Actually, in Quran, there are early verses of Quran that says that nobody should kill himself. There's no suicide unnecessarily. But if there's an invasion, if there's interference, at that time the people of the country can fight and can kill themselves and commit suicide.
Do you think that the Western world is giving Islam a bad name?
I have no idea about this point. I don't know, but if some groups want to defame Islam or give a bad name to Islam.
Okay. When the Taliban left from here, he was involved in their surrender and handing over the charges to Mr. Karzai. Was he involved at that time when they signed the surrender with Mr. Karzai?
Of course, I was involved in submitting power to Mr. Karzai, President Karzai. We had discussions, we had consultations, and when President Karzai was in Uruzgan, I was in Argandap. We had telephone communications. We were making programs for this purpose, and Chairman Karzai asked me to discuss with Taliban to surrender the power peacefully, to make a good situation to take over the power. I discussed the issue with Taliban, and I succeeded to convince Taliban to surrender power peacefully, and President Karzai asked me in Shavali court there. The Taliban accepted to surrender power in the region.
What do you think were the causes or the reasons for the rise of Taliban, and what were the reasons for their exit?
The reason for rising Taliban in Afghanistan, of course, I can say that there were too many parties in Afghanistan, and there was a chaos in Afghanistan. The security situation, the governmental system was very bad, and all factional fightings in the region. And of course, I can say there was some interference and foreign countries to support Taliban for this purpose. This was the time Taliban came to scene and took the power. After that, the reason for the exit from the region is that they martyred a lot of mujahideen in Afghanistan, and they were being very ruthless to people, and people people got decision to make a new government and to take Taliban out of the country. So by help and support of international community, allied forces, we could succeed this purpose, and we pushed out Taliban from the power.
Okay. What do you think attracted the people to the ranks of Al Qaeda?
Actually, to be honest, I can say that people didn't like Al Qaeda network at all, and this was the matter that it was imposed by Taliban on the people, and it was Taliban that accommodated Al Qaeda in their houses in the country. People didn't support them, and it was imposed situation for the people.
Okay. Do you think that Al Qaeda said that it was doing jihad in the way of Islam? Does he agree with that? Were they being Islamic?
To Islamic scholars and Islamic law, it's not called jihad what Al Qaeda were doing in Afghanistan, because jihad is not against the Muslim country or Muslim party. Just they were paving the way for war, and they were paving the way to make their own interests and benefits.